Our assassin is tasked with killing Ali Sanguine, Paladin of Astaire and cousin of the Queen. To make matters worse, it is possible that Ali has gotten a divine warning of her imminent demise and is on guard. She is escorted at all times by her faithful hound. Our assassin's first step is to find a home base, then go about listening to rumours about the Paladin. As he visits the inns, he'll gather information in the guise of his bard. He runs into the Paladin, who visits one of the taverns he is performing at. He draws her into a debate about the existence of dragons. During the conversation, he gets a measure of her power level and also learns where she is staying. When she leaves, he changes his appearance and strolls about town trying to find her. And while he finds signs of her passing, he does not see her. Defeated, he once again changes his appearance and heads to the Paladin's inn and rents a room there. He takes some time to find which room belongs to her. Then the next day, he follows his mark as she goes about her business. What scheme will our assassin come up with? Will the Paladin go down without a fight? Will Sophie fall victim to the DM? Let's find out now on Assassin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Assassin. How are you doing today, Rob?
I'm great, Neal. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just looking over the stats of the monsters that you have to fight. The monsters being Ali Sanguine and Beowulf, or Loyal and Faithful Mastiff. Is all right in the world with you today?
Yeah, let's go. Why are you wasting time, Neal?
I was okay. Yeah. So here we are. We're in game.
Look, Neal.
No, it's fine. We're in game. We're in game. It's great.
No, Neal, I'm kind of insulted. We've known each other for a long time, and everybody who knows me knows that I'm about two things, Neal. Two things. What are those two things, Neal?
Honesty and faithfulness.
And now I'm really insulted, Neal. Everybody who knows me knows I'm about two goddamn things.
I know what it is. I know what it is. It's your crusade against profanity and your timeliness.
Again, Neal, it's like you planned out these insults ahead of time just to frustrate me. I'm about two things, Neal. Number one, getting down to business. And number two, defeating some goddamn Huns.
Oh.
And I defeat the Huns. Now, Neal, we're going to take a little trip. As you know, I taught middle school history.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Take a little trip into middle school history. Give you a little test.
Uh-huh.
And it's going to be multiple choice because I know how you slackers love your multiple choice tests.
Okay.
Were the Huns a feared group of warriors who ravaged China and Europe? Or
the Middle East.
Yes. Or were the Huns the absence of banter at the beginning of a show? Which one were they, Neal?
They were the group that ravaged China, Russia, Europe, the Middle East, and anything they could get their hands on?
Exactly, Neal.
Good. So let's get down to business.
Yes, to defeat the Huns.
Never mind. I'm just not going to touch that one.
You know, I will occasionally, I also defeat female monastic orders.
You fight nuns.
Yes, sometimes I do get down to business to defeat the nuns. But
Well,
it's mostly
those nuns are
it's
tricky
almost always-
people. You never know what they're hiding underneath those big flowing robes and everything. And
Don't have to tell me I went to Catholic school, Neal. I went to Catholic school.
It's just rulers everywhere. Every sleeve, every sock, every hat, every bonnet, ruler.
And what a lot of people, non-Catholics, don't get, those are steel rulers. And even then, we're not just talking normal steel rulers. These are Damascus steel, folded over 100 times to create an edge that would make a katana cut through a tin can in shame, like a common Ginsu knife.
Damascus steel.
Damascus
rulers.
steel.
Wow.
Yes.
Terrible. Did you ever get whacked with a ruler, or is that just a lore?
Thanks for activating my PTSD, Neal.
You're welcome. It's what I do. Half of my family, my mom's side of the family, was all raised Catholic and all went to Catholic school. So I've heard of tales from them, but I didn't know if that branched outside of Chicago or it's
It's only the lizard people nuns that have tails, Neal. It's only the lizard people nuns.
all right. So let's hop into game. You are
Exactly.
on the 3rd floor of this not hotel, but inn. 3rd floor of the inn. This is your room right over here. You have it for some number of days. I have numbers somewhere. That'll be fine. There are my numbers.
All right. So I need to.
Are we
looking?
on day 1? I can't find my number of days.
We're like
that we've done this.
really soon in here.
Yeah, I think it's day 2. I think we're on day 2.
Yeah, we've got plenty.
Out of 30. So you've got lots and lots of time. Lots and lots of
So, are we looking at the? Look to me like the 3rd floor, or is it? Are we on the 3rd floor map?
You are on the 3rd floor, yes.
Okay. Making sure that's where we were, or what we were looking at, because it's going to require planning. Are you sure that's not the 2nd floor? Because I thought those stairs on the outside led to the 2nd floor.
They do lead to the 2nd floor. This here is the 2nd floor.
Yes, it is, Neal.
In fact, we should actually be looking at this version of the 3rd floor.
God damn it, Neal. I'm going to be walking around here, and I need to freaking measure some stuff.
Well,
So
it's awkward to measure things when you're, living in a place. It attracts attention. So let's give you some darkness. Let's give you some things to battle against that aren't huns or nuns.
Yeah, it's Huns and occasionally nuns. That's it, Neal. That's it. Did you not listen?
Well, I didn't know if there were also exceptions. Like you're about defeating the Huns and sometimes the nuns, but that doesn't mean you don't also chow down on some hot dog buns from time to time. You also make a lot of puns. I feel like, those sweeping statements that I only do these 2 things are clearly wrong.
Neal, I feel like you're not subscribing to the whole Huns and occasional nuns thing.
Well, we know you also love guns, Rob. Come on now.
I feel like you're mocking it right now, but you're going to become a believer, Neal. Yeah, I'm going to make a fan out of you.
There will be a lot of us. There will be tons of us eventually. But for now, you have to murder a paladin. And make it visible.
Yes, and you know why I'm going to murder this paladin?
Because you were told to do it by your god Malchus?
Because she's a female member of a monastic order.
Oh.
She's a nun, Neal.
My god. She sort of is, in a weird way.
Exactly. All right,
let's do it.
So you make me walk around this thing using this stupid fog of war thing.
Yes.
Like a goddamn communist. So.
Well, yeah.
You have me up in my room here? Is that where I am?
I have you in your room, right here.
Okay, I'm gonna go out my door.
Boop, boop.
Where's her door?
Right here on the right is her door, and right here on the left is another door that you've never been through and you don't know what's on the other side of.
Was there anybody in that other door?
They said it was not for rent.
All right. Do the doors open in or out, Neal?
The doors will open into the bedrooms.
Well, that sucks, Neal.
Well, you don't. If they'd open out, then you could open your door part way, and it would lock somebody else in because they couldn't open their door because the doors would just run into each other, and it would cause confusion and chaos, and it would be dangerous. Someone could get hurt.
Do they have doorknobs, Neal?
They have handles, large boxy handles with push-down latchy thingies.
Are the handles very secure, Neal?
They're very sturdy and very secure.
Bolted heavily into the wood?
They're as secure as your everyday regular door handles. They're solid. They're on their well.
All right.
I don't think they have bolts. I think it's just nails and primitive wood glue.
But they're good and solid.
Yeah, they're good and solid.
All right, Neal. I'm trusting you on this because I'm going to be doing something that I did in college. And I'm hoping that these doors are built at least to the standards of UC Irvine's college dorm doors.
Oh, God. What have you done in college? Never mind. I don't want to know. It was the 70s? It was a crazy time? 80s? I don't actually know how old you are, Rob.
It was the 80s, Neal. I graduated high school 85, started UC Irvine 85. It was an era of big hair. Buckaroo Banzai was a celebrated film.
Yeah, I have seen it on multiple occasions. The 80s were a majestic time, both for film and music. The greatest films in the world were created in the 80s, and some of the best music came out of the 80s. I gotta say.
All right, so I'm listening. I do a listen. Do I hear anybody around?
Let's see. We're in the evening, right?
Yes.
Is it?
I think hadn't we just left? I don't think it was quite evening. I thought it was sort of middle of the day, and she was going off. I just watched her go off. I thought.
Right. You followed her north, and then you saw her head out the western road of town, way up in the north. So it's the middle of the day.
Yes.
So you listen at the door. Give me a perception check.
And I'm not just listening at the door. I'm listening for this entire floor for activity.
Sure. So you listen at the doors. Another great band from the 80s. And you hear nothing.
I am going to pick out my picks, and I'm going to try to, obviously I'm going to be listening because I'm listening to the clicks in the lock. Actually, is there a lock on this, Neal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You have a lock. You have a key to your room as well.
All right. So I am going to try to do the pre-picking thing I do where I try to go, okay, so it's these picks are the ones that I need for this door. And so first I'll take a round to try to pick the door to get used to the lock.
Sure. You put your keys in there and start jiggling them about, your little tools. Lock picking is really just poking something in and doing this. Totally, that's exactly how it works.
Your wife must be so happy, Neal.
Let's keep this PG-13, Rob. A 10 is... Let me double check the DC of the doors here. Yeah, this is a common tavern. So the locks are a common lock. So DC 10 will absolutely do it.
All right. I relock the door.
Okay, it is locked.
All right, Neal, is this lock, just observing it? Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to go into my room and observe my lock from the inside, so I'm not standing in the middle of the hallway here.
Ah, yeah. All right. You head back into your room.
Well, first I look. Does this lock look like the lock over in my room? I'm assuming they're all the same.
They're all the same.
All right. So examining my lock, how would I jam this lock to make it like? Could I shove something into it to block the key from being able to unlock it if I wanted to basically sabotage the lock?
Absolutely. You would need something. So we're talking. Oh shit! I don't have my skeleton key anymore. Okay, so we're using the old-timey key that comes out with the things that poke down, and it's a fairly large key unit, right? Mm-hmm. So it takes a lot of space to get that in there and get it to work. So if you could put something that is soft enough that you could like mold it into the door, but firm enough that it would gum up a key like clay, you could disable the lock. Definitely.
Okay. All right, now I'm gonna go around this upper floor. If it won't let me go out the door.
You can't walk out the door?
No, you locked me in apparently, Neal.
Well, you gummed it up with clay.
I didn't buy clay yet, Neal.
Okay. All right, you go into the hallway.
Apparently the doors are locked to me. This is so weird. So now what I'm not getting is really there's only 3 doors off this hallway?
4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so how do you get to the rest of the upper floor?
You gotta go back downstairs.
And then go back up?
Then go back up through the other room. In fact, you don't just have to go downstairs, you have to go all the way to the ground floor. It is not necessarily the best designed inn of all time. Let me just bring you to the area. So you are where you are right now, right? And if you head down those stairs, you come to the 2nd floor. Which will resolve. And then you can go out the front door here. Come down here, which will actually bring you to the 1st floor. Where you would be right here. Definitely not in 2 places at once, though. And then just walk around the outside.
All right, so actually, let me check this out here, make sure, because the doors don't really show up on this very well.
Yeah, so then now you are back on the 2nd floor. If I can move us to the right thingy. There you go.
All right.
2nd floor.
So, really... Okay, so on the 2nd floor, and then I go up these stairs.
Yep. And I will bring you to the 3rd floor.
So there's no door or anything blocking access that could entirely block off access to the 3rd floor then? Right?
No, there's no door that would block the 3rd floor.
All right, can I look at 2nd floor again? I'm planning blocking exits. I'm assuming there's a door leading out to those stairs that go outside, right?
Yeah, there should be a door just to keep the wind out, but it doesn't lock. I should probably put one here. Or maybe it does lock, but it's like never locked and you don't have a key to it. I suppose you would need to be able to lock it.
Yeah, could I reverse pick lock it to lock it without a key?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I could lock that. And then, since the doors don't show up very well, I'm assuming there's other doors in this hallway.
Yeah, there's one right here, and there's one right here. I'm gonna make a little marky mark. A green marky mark.
Speaking of the 80s.
No, you can't see that. Let's do it the other way. Is Marky Mark a person from the 80s?
Marky Mark?
Yeah.
Oh, Neal. Child of summer.
I mean, I only watched good things from the 80s, or listened to good things from the 80s, so I don't know who this Marky Mark feller is. I've marked doors with green lines that should hopefully make it visible. Can you see these green lines that I have doodled?
Yes. There's a lot of them here. I'm guessing, is it a reasonable assumption that people lock their doors at night?
Totally.
Okay.
There, that makes them more.
All right. So let me look back at my to-do list.
To kill list?
Well, to kill list.
Mm-hmm.
I made one especially here for this episode.
Ooh, do you want to share it with us? Or is it going to be secret kill list?
Well, I'll share, because after examining the poisons and that they aren't going to do what I want them to do, I did have to cross off get cooked chicken. The others will keep secret for right now.
Okay. But we're not getting cooked chicken.
No. Of course, this is very different from the normal do list that I have every morning.
Which has cooked chicken on it?
No. What do you think my to-do list has every single morning, Neal?
Climb a greased pole.
Defeat the hunt.
Damn it. I keep getting you mixed up with this, 19, 20-year-old Chinese girl from a long time ago. And she would climb.
I'm just saying, Neal, that if your first thought every morning is climb a greased pole, then again, I'm sort of feeling bad for your wife.
All right. Where are you going? Murder somebody already.
All right. Well, need to go buy a few things. So first off, I'm going to go back up to my room. I'm going to disguise myself. New identity.
Da-da-da. All right. You're back in your room.
Brand new friends, brand new boss. And in my new identity, I am going to go around town and first see how many different places are there that I could buy lamp oil.
You're asking me how many lamp oil merchants there are in the entire town of Confluence?
How many different people could I buy lamp oil from? My point being, I don't want to be like, 50 gallons of lamp oil, please. I'm not suspicious at all.
Okay. So you want to buy 50 gallons of lamp oil from as many different sources as possible.
Neal, did you
Sure.
ever toilet paper a house when you were in high school, Neal?
No, I never did, because I was respectful of the environment. And I was terrified of getting in trouble.
Okay, so you never figured out that you don't want to, as a teenage boy, walk in and buy, nothing except for 3 12-packs of toilet paper.
Well, why would you buy toilet paper? Why wouldn't you just take it out of your own house and use it? That seems like one extra step to getting caught.
That sounds like the attitude of someone who's not committed, Neal.
No. That gives you the least risk. You don't need any prep work. You just need your dark costume and a mark, and then you can just grab stuff from home. If you have to go out and buy it, that gets more complicated. You need wheels to get to the store. It's, there's a lot going on there.
Neal, it's not really TPing a house unless you are going around buying 1 pack of toilet paper rolls at each little place in town, like Walter White buying many things of Sudafed so that you could buy enough to set off the...
Actually, Rob, Walter White never bought any Sudafed. Jesse Pinkman had his little minions buy Sudafed after he stopped being the one to buy Sudafed, so... Just saying, Rob. Get your shit together.
Don't tell me to get my shit together when you're the one who doesn't even know how to buy toilet paper.
I certainly do know how to buy toilet paper. I just never TP'd a house. I was too good of a kid. I empathized with my neighbors too much and feared the wrath of my parents, which honestly I didn't need to do. I was the really, really, really good kid amongst my family, and had I TP'd a house, I probably would have gotten praised from my parents for getting out of my shell. I remember when it was like 3 days after my 18th birthday, we were down at the beach playing with fireworks that we had gotten somewhere, and someone called the cops, and they came down and, confiscated our fireworks and ticketed us, and we all got in trouble, and I went home with my friend who we were launching fireworks with, and apologetically, almost in tears to my parents, was like, I just got her, in trouble with the police for launching fireworks. And my mom, clasped her hands together and said, "Oh, thank God, you finally done something," and was thrilled that I'd actually gotten out of the house and gotten myself into trouble.
Neal, you would not have cut it. You would not have been able to keep up in the 80s.
Maybe not.
When you were.
Yeah.
In the 80s, there were basically 3 things going on, Neal.
Defeating the Huns?
No, Neal.
Damn it. Never get these questions right.
Number 1, we were throwing parties in our house while our parents were gone for the weekend, and Boingo Boingo would, for some reason, show up and play.
Of course.
Number 2, TPing houses.
Of course.
And number 3, hacking our computers to make magic computer ladies that take us on adventures that show us about how to come out and truly be ourselves.
That is truly some weird science right there.
Yeah, if we weren't doing one of those 3 things, we were asleep.
Wow, that's...
Which we never were because of all the cocaine.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be some risky business, just going to sleep like that.
Exactly.
All right, we've... Oh, no wonder we never kill anyone in this game. So what is the plan? You want to buy a bunch of lamp oil. Okay.
Yes, but I don't want to buy it all in one place here.
Okay. Well, we have 30 days to do this mission. I think today is day 2. So why don't we just say you spend 2 days very carefully going around the city and buying lamp oil surreptitiously and asking in various places who sells it, and then we don't have to go through it in such detail. We can just spend 2 days on it. All right. We're on day 4 now.
Okay, and during that time, I also want to buy a fishing net.
You can purchase a fishing net as well.
All right. I also want to buy lots of little fishing hooks.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Hooks, net, but no sinker or line.
Exactly.
And oil. Okay. How much oil did you want? 50 gallons, did you say?
Well, not really 50
Okay,
gallons.
I was going to say, you'd probably buy out the town, but how much
Let's
oil?
say a total of 20 oil flasks worth. How much is that?
Each flask is a pint. So 20 pints is 2.5 gallons.
All right.
And will cost you 200 copper.
Okay. And I want to, at some point when it's, not particularly obvious, just pour a little bit of water in the hallway outside my room or outside of Allie's door here and see, check how level this floor is. Does the water just sort of pool there? Does it slightly go somewhere? Does it no way it would possibly go under her door?
Are there any medieval architects in chat that can tell me how level floors used to be historically?
I mean, it's really going to depend on, and it's not even going to necessarily be, but I know.
Okay, roll me a d10, Rob. Roll me a d10.
All right. A D10, like the water might go up or down as well as one of
No, 9 or 10 is going to be level, and then 1 through 8 is just going to be cardinal directions in a circle.
All right.
So the oil will run, or water, not oil, of course, will run this way.
All right.
That is the direction the house is not level in.
Okay.
This would be 1. This would have been 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 of 10 would be just flat. So
Yeah.
1 is this way.
How much space is there between her door, the bottom of her door, and the floor?
The gap at the bottom?
Yes.
Half an inch? Quarter of an inch. Quarter to half an inch. You'd have to get out one of your Damascus steel rulers to really know.
All right. And all right. So I've got the net, got the oil. During that time, I am going to, I'd like some silk thread, good strong silk thread.
Okay, you can purchase silk thread.
All right. And I'm going to use the silk thread to tie all these goddamn fish hooks all over the net.
Okay. Now, did you specifically purchase cursed and damned fish hooks, or is that just an explicative added for dramatic effect?
How much extra is it if they're cursed and damned?
100 gold extra.
Yeah, I guess I'll just have to get the normal ones.
Okay. All right, just checking because it makes a difference.
Right.
Lovely. Nets are gold.
I want to get some clay as well. Nice big chunk of clay.
Okay, you can go to a potter's place. He is a very hairy potter, and you can buy, I don't know how much clay.
Shop under the stairway.
Shop under the stairway? Yeah, it's down below the stairs here. It's that big warehouse markety thing underneath the inn. Exactly where he is. How much clay do you want?
Just I need about enough for a good sized pot. I don't really need that much.
Okay.
That would be fine.
So you can get a pound of clay. Is that good? That sounds fine.
Let's get 2 pounds to be sure.
All right, 2 pounds of clay.
It's basically dirt, so it's probably not that expensive.
No, clay's pretty cheap. It just has to be hauled distances and mucked up. It's cheap.
All right. I next want to examine the roof of the hallway over her door. And I am thinking in terms of sort of doing the opposite of disarming a trap, in terms of wanting to see how possible it would be to make a trap.
Well, what type of trap, really?
Say a net hanging over with a bunch of fish hooks in it that it doesn't even have to be there's a tripwire kind of thing, just so that I could pull a rope and the net could fall down. Could there be a way to rig something like that?
So you give a rope something a tug and the net falls.
Yes.
I
mean, it could just be that the silk threads are holding the net up. They're strong enough to probably hold it up, but a big jerk could, break the threads and bring the net down.
You could break the threads, yeah. That works.
Yeah, so are there beams that I could tie the silk thread around so that...
Yeah, there's gotta be a way to do that. You might need to make some small modifications. You might need to get some small nails and tack them in there to, because you want the net to be spread, right? So you're gonna need at least the 4 corners to be attached and possibly the center thing. So you have 4 threads that you're gonna need configured in some way so that you can either let go of something or pull something and have it break for them all to fall. So you might need to do a little bit of construction surreptitiously.
All right. How much would I surreptitiously need to do? Am I going to have to? I mean,
You'd need to put in 4 tiny nails into the walls above the doorway.
okay, so there's no like roof beams that I can just loop the thread around.
No, because we're on the 3rd. Yeah, so there's like a beam that runs down the center of the hallway, but there's no space above it. There's probably something there that you can hook the middle onto, but the corners of the net you're going to need to spread out, and you're going to need something to... It wouldn't be hard to get a nail and pull out a chair and tap, 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 tap.
All right.
It might arouse attention if you do it at night, but middle of the day...
Yeah, because I'm figuring a lot of people will be gone, doing about their business during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I can kind of over those 2 days also sort of tap in those nails.
Yeah. Why don't you give me a stealth check, and if it rolls poorly, we'll see if maybe someone comes in and checks out the pounding noises that they hear.
All right. Do I get to do the whole with advantage thing because of my elven?
No, just stealth. You don't have a hammer of elven kind. The boots. Yeah, perfect. It takes you like 2 minutes, maybe. You get some nails and just tap, 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 and you're done. And no one's the wiser.
Alrighty. And let's see. This is almost all set to come together.
Real reason communist countries use cement for all their buildings is so people can't assassinate them by making modifications without people noticing.
Let me see, anything else on my to-do list? Yeah, that's gonna wait. All the lamp oil. All right. So I am also for something soaked in lamp oil to catch fire, would it basically need to be in contact with the fire?
Yeah, that's how fire spreads, is through contact.
Well, my idea, for example, here would be, say I started a fire at the base of the door and the net had been soaked in lamp oil.
Mm-hmm.
The fire at the base of the door catch the lamp oil soaked net, which is way up at the ceiling.
Once the fire races up the wall and comes in contact with the net, absolutely. But not before then. You could, however, create, put a oil-soaked thread that hangs next to the wall if you want it to race more quickly. But the fire will need to come in contact with the net in some way in order to...
All right, I'm going to hold you to that then. I didn't want to have premature ignition.
Ah, yes.
All right, are there lots of blankets and things, bedding in my bed? I mean, I'm assuming there's like a straw-filled mattress, etc.
Yep.
And some good blankets and stuff.
They're blankets. Their goodness is questionable, but they're blankets. This is a cheap inn. Confluence is not exactly a wealthy town.
How many oils did we say I had? 20?
20 pints.
All right. So after I've got all this stuff set up, and I'm going to continue having my meals at the inn and occasionally talking to Allie, although not like obviously seeking her out. If she, I'll have meals by myself where I don't go and talk to her. But occasionally talk to her and talk tobacco. And do they sell tobacco in town?
Oh yeah, totally. Some of the produce of Confluence is tobacco. Okay. So you get the freshest stuff right off the vine. I've never actually seen a tobacco plant. It's like a little bush, right? I don't know. You get the freshest tobacco.
Okay.
recently dried, hand-rolled, imported from Confluence.
All right, how much would some good tobacco be? Just a little bit.
A couple copper, you know?
All right, so I'll try to get some, like, whatever's the best tobacco I can get here. And at some point, as I'm at one of the meals, I'll share with her, hey, I got some of this. Do you want to try it? Sort of being, the friendly stuff, keeping connection, trying to observe her, get a sense of what she's thinking, anything going on for her.
She's not particularly talkative. Yeah, so give me something more specific that you're asking her.
Well, I'm gonna try to, in general, can I use persuasion to try to get her to just be more relaxed around me?
Yeah, sure. Give me we'll call it a persuasion check, but it's just really your charismatic, charming, talking to people sort of role here.
Okay,
and
17.
We'll oppose it by her, what would be I'm not super excited, don't really want to talk to people, I've got other things going on. Her insight, which I'm going to call just like her better judgment when she knows that she's being marked for death and is trying to keep a low profile. So we'll pose it by her insight.
All right.
Yeah, so you get her to open up and chat and relax around you a little bit.
All right. And if she at some point she does seem kind of worried or seem very like her mind is elsewhere, I'll ask about that but not press.
Yeah, so you ask, she definitely does seem worried and distracted, and you ask about it, and she'll kind of give a bit of a sigh and say, well, I am a Paladin of Astaire, and there are many enemies in the world for us. There is someone out to kill me, and so I am biding my time and waiting for them to arrive.
I look kind of shocked at that. Is someone trying to kill you?
Yes.
Kind of look around the room. Why? A bandit?
Like a bandit.
You like someone you defeated that wants revenge?
No. Let's just an agent of Malchus.
I look a bit worried. That I kind of like look around, like I'm trying to size up different people and looking suspicious, but worried. Oh. Are there, people close to you in danger?
She nods. Yes. If this person is out to kill me, anyone near me or talking to me is possibly in danger, or possibly the person trying to kill me.
All right, I'm thinking about this. I'm kind of like startled by the whole thing still. Oh. And shortly after that, I'll sort of make an excuse and act sort of like I'm, again, it's kind of like looking around at people and other people, like I'm sort of nervous that I might get killed for being close to her. And I'll sort of like make some excuse to, I gotta get going now.
Have a good day. She smiles and waves.
All right. All right. So it's been like So it takes her, in your system, a long rest is once a week. It's been...
It has been... Today's day 4. Yep.
Alright, so day 5. Get up bright and early. New disguise.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to go around to places like where I met the beggars before, to basically I'm going to be seeking out people that seem poor, especially noting if I see somebody who's injured or sick or something like that. And I am going to in this particular guy's have a big skin of wine.
Mm-hmm.
And an extra one in my backpack in my pack, just because I'm going to go through a lot of wine, and I'm going to be pretending to be drunk. And
Okay.
basically, my mission here is to spread the word, like try to chat people up. You know, very oh hey, what are you doing? Oh wow! Especially if I see somebody who's injured or is sick. I mentioned, that Paladin woman. She said that at sundown today, he's gonna be over at whatever that tavern is, and gonna heal anybody for the glory of Astaire. She's gonna heal anybody who comes, and with a supplication to Astaire to show Astaire's glory or something.
The same woman that comes through here every day?
Yeah, she's gonna be healing people. You just gotta show and give glory to Astaire and everything, and she'll heal you.
Today,
it's a special. Is it a holy day of Astaire? I don't know, Astaire. I take an escalator myself, but I guess maybe it. I don't know why.
Oh, that sounds great. Let's just wait at the tavern, the one with the floor and the tables, right?
Yeah, not the one without the floor.
Okay, I don't like that tavern very much.
Yeah. And so I go around spreading word of that.
All right, why don't you give me a deception check to see how good you are at spreading false rumors, at spreading fake news.
Okay. Fake news, and I'm trying to lubricate the process by also being very generous with my wine.
Of course.
Other people.
You indeed are fake news, Rob. You are fake news. You spread this about, and that evening there's going to be a mob of sick people coming to the place where food is prepared.
All right. I'm gonna watch this, see how it goes, see if she ends up using up a bunch of her spells, hopefully.
All right, so let's take a look at the first floor of this room. Excuse me. So here you are, tavern, evening time. Turn off the skulking around the city noise and turn on the tavern noise. So here you are in this tavern. Allie's here as well. In the evening, hanging out in her usual spot, waiting for someone to come and try and kill her, when a minor mob of people begin to show up in ones and twos and gather outside. The proprietor of the tavern takes note of these people slowly showing up outside. What is her name? I can't remember her name, and I don't see it in my notes.
Roberta.
That's right. Roberta, because the other guy's Robert at the other tavern.
Yes.
Yes. So Roberta is here, and she nervously walks outside to the gathering group and tries to shoo them away. But there's some conversation, and then she comes back in and walks over to Allie. And give me a perception check to see if you can overhear the conversation through the din. Otherwise, I'll just tell you the consequences. Yeah, not good enough. So after a few moments of speaking, Allie gets up and heads outside and sees the mob who approach her, arms outstretched, pleading with her to cure their ailments. And we're going to need...
begging in the name of a stare like I told them to?
They are begging in the name of a stare. And she's going to need another check here to... you know what? She looks at this mob. She looks around it. She stops looking at the mob, and she's starting to look at everything else but the mob. She's like scanning the streets, taking a look through the tavern, looking at windows, looking at rooftops, and slowly walks inside over to Roberta, speaks to her, and Roberta goes from table to table, whispering to people. When she gets to your table, she says, excuse me, the Paladin would like the inn to herself. She says your meals are on her, but you have to exit immediately.
Oh.
Something about imminent danger, everyone's about to die, something like that.
Okay. I'll be kind of confused and get up and leave.
Yeah. Slowly the tavern clears out and they shut their doors bit by bit. And then Roberta leaves and stands outside, very confused and bewildered and a little nervous. And there's this large crowd still outside, and Allie shuts the front doors, and the crowd is just standing outside amongst themselves going, well, I thought she was going to heal us. Why is she inside?
All right, I will bide my time here to see what happens as well.
So like half an hour passes. The crowd doesn't dissipate. They're confused, but there's nothing going on anyway, and she might be coming back out, and everyone's here.
She did a ritual spell. Okay.
The doors open. Allie pokes her head outside, looks around, and then points at one person and, fingers him over. He steps inside and she shuts the door. And then opens it a few moments later, and he walks out, previously limping and now walking just fine. To which there are cries of joy coming from the crowd, and then, she'll bring on one other person.
I'll add in, like, if she does that, I'll see if I can get a chant going, hail to a stare that saves us all. Hail to a stare.
Mm-hmm.
See if I can get that chant going.
Oh, the wrong. No, you both have the same insight. So you try and get hail to a stare going?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the people here are already here for the god of stare, so they pick up the chant too, and it continues. And one by one, she pulls people out of the tavern, and gives a little bit of healing, sends them away. Brings the next person in, gives them a little bit of healing, sends them away. And goes through about 5 people that way before stepping out and just saying to the crowd in general, that's it for today. There's no more healing. Come back later. Come back in 3 days. The crowd, kind of bummed, slowly begins to disperse. There's a few shouts of, a stare sucks! It's a shitty god! All for his Malchus! Just angry shouts of people who wanted something for free and didn't get it. You know how mobs can be. Mobs are evil. And that's that.
All right.
Eventually, the doors open up. Again, Allie brings in Roberta, and who comes in with her, and they shut the door, and it's closed for maybe another half hour or so until the doors open, and Allie quickly, looking both ways across the street, darts from where she is over here. Guess you're not here. You should be over here. Oh, but no, we need you here so we have vision. Okay. So she will quickly look both ways, crossing the street, and dart across here and head upstairs and go to the second floor and disappear. You.
All right.
Just gonna leave her in her spot though, so we know.
Okay. Now she's too suspicious today. We won't take her out tonight.
Hmm.
We'll give her a day to go. I was just being a little too paranoid.
So what do you want to do? It's the end of day 4.
I'll just make sure to get some nice fish for Sophie.
She is fished.
And I'm gonna get all my for the next day. So I'm not doing anything that night. The next day, I am going to get my various gear out of the room.
Mm-hmm.
Move that to my room at the Forester.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to get my my bundle of weapons and my assassin outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And in my pack, or as best I can, get those over to my room at the other inn. In my room, I've got my pack with my gear, just various. Particularly important things are rope and all the lamp oil.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to wait until just past my day. Just in general, kind of keep an eye, at the meal times. Does she come down to the tavern for the meal times?
She does, but she comes down, shield strapped to her arm, hand resting on her longsword, watching every alleyway, looking at windows, checking rooftops, standing in the doorway to the tavern for a moment, surveying the population, noting weapons, and then carefully walking in.
Does she look like she slept in her armor?
Give me an investigation check or an insight check, whichever.
All right.
Either of them will work for this.
Because she can get fatigue levels that way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be awesome. Can I go to a different page of this? What happened?
What have you done, Rob?
I was looking at the character sheet, and I seem to be on like a spell page.
Huzzah! There you are.
There we go. All right, insights.
Or investigation, if you'd rather.
Oh, investigation I think is better, isn't it?
No, it's way worse.
Oh, it's the same. Now it's worse. Yeah, right.
You're looking at her. It's hard to tell. You're not getting a good assessment of if she slept in her armor or not. It's possible. She does look super wary. Hard to tell how weary she is, though.
All right, I leave her alone. I don't go sit with her. I do give her kind of a worried nod, and I look around at the people too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go back to my room that night.
Okay. You head back to your room. That means it is... Are you just passing the whole day?
Yeah, just pass the day, play with Sophie.
That was day 5. We are on day 6.
Yep. So she said come back in 3 days, so we're just a day out.
Right, so that would be... Day 8 would be the day that she told people to come back, and today is day 6.
Right. So I am going to, when I'm in my room, pass the time. I'm going to listen for her in her room for pacing, sounds of an armored figure. Somebody who's wearing heavy armor and probably makes metallic noises as well as heavy footsteps.
So let's get a map up. You're in your room at the Forester. You're on the 3rd floor.
No, not in the Forester, at the other one.
I'm sorry, at the last home. Right. So you're here in your room, waiting, listening at the doorway to hear if Allie is coming down the hall in her armor.
Yeah, well, in also at her wall. Basically, I'm going to spend the night. My plan is just to wait until I figure that she's in her room. I mean, listening to try to keep tabs on her.
Mm-hmm.
In her room, waiting for when she might have finally gone to sleep.
Okay, give me a perception check. 12. Not bad. So you listen, and eventually you do hear the Paladin coming in, the jingling of the half plate and the shield that clanks against her leather scabbard bouncing on her thigh, the dog giving a nice long yawn. You hear the door, the jingling of the keys, and the door opens and closes. The hinges are a little squeaky, but not that squeaky, And then you hear her come into her room. You're listening through the wall between the two of your rooms. And there's just like a bunch of sounds as something comes off and thuds heavily on the ground and then leans against a wall. You can hear the sound of buckles and clasps being undone, and something being tossed onto a bed. I guess you probably don't hear something being tossed onto a bed, though. Yeah, so you hear the sounds inside.
All right, and I wait, and can I look down, since there's a gap under these doors, look under my door to keep track of light coming from under her door? Every now and then I'm going to peek and see if I see light coming from her door.
I think you can see if there's light in the hallway, that you wouldn't be able to tell if it was from her door, or the door across the hall from her door, or the door at the end of the hall, right? Or just someone coming into the hallway with a candle. Because it's only that half-inch to a quarter to a half-inch thing, and you can't get your eyeball low enough, right? The side of your face is more than an inch across.
All right, so... Okay.
This is more than an inch.
So if only I had oil, I'm going to use some of my oil to oil the hinges on my door, which are on the inside because the door opens again.
Mm-hmm.
To make sure they're nice and non-squeaky.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to wait a while after it sounded like she took all her gear off. And I guess I'll use the time to take my mattress and the blankets and give them a good soaking in oil.
Your blankets and all of your stuff?
Blankets and bedding, let's say 5 pints of oil.
That's a lot of oil. Yeah, you soak your blankets and your bedding in 5 pints of oil. All of your stuff is in this room, though, right? Your rapier, your short bow, your quiver, all of your gear is here with you in the Forester.
Yeah, not Sophie, not... I'm basically my gear to be ready to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the net, the oil, etc., the clay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'll... How much would it take? Say two more blasts of oil to oil up the net, get that so that it can...
Probably not even, like a pint is quite a lot of fluid, and a net is mostly thread. So 1 pint of oil will...
Right.
That's a fishing net, right? So it's...
Yes.
It's like this thick, right? It's lots and lots of little things about yay thick.
All right.
So yeah, you can get a pint of oil and soak the net in it and dump it all over and put it on the bedding and dump the extra oil there and get it nice and oily and flammable. Or inflammable, depending on your choice.
Yes, I mean you wouldn't want to get the two of those mixed up. It could be super confusing.
It could be very dangerous if you mixed flammable and inflammable.
Mm-hmm.
This is, for those of you out there who English might not be your first language, they mean the exact same thing. It's very confusing and entirely pointless.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense at all.
So again, passing the time. Now that my door is nice and oiled, I'll very incredibly slowly open it to take a peek out into the hallway. Well, actually, I'm just gonna look like I'll open it slowly.
You open the door.
But I'm gonna look like I'm just sort of a bit tired, that I'm not opening it in like a super sneaky way, but just like, sort of woken up to go take a piss.
Right. You open the door into the hallway, slowly, carefully, and we're gonna go to our first break here, and when we come back, we are gonna... I think we're gonna burn one down. We'll see you on the other side of our break. Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Assassin. So tonight's the night.
Yep. Tonight we get down to business to defeat the nun.
To defeat the nun. That is correct. So, recap us again what the situation is before all hell breaks loose.
Well, as I said, I am just sort of looking out the hallway. Right now, I just kind of looking like I'm going to go out, use the bathroom, the chamber pot somewhere, as an excuse to open the door very quietly to see if there's light coming from under her door.
You open the door and look out. It's dark. Dark everywhere.
Under her door also.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Since there are no lights or windows in this hallway, it is actually very dark. The only light that you would have would be coming in from your windows. And that's about it.
All right. I'm going to quietly close my door again then.
With you on the inside?
Yeah. So about how late is it at this point?
How late would you like it to be? It's at least 2 hours past sundown, but it can be later if you'd like.
Figuring she's gonna be lying awake in bed with a dagger clutched to her or something for a while. So I want to basically wait until like 3 a.m. I'm gonna figure she'll have, without light, it'll have been hard to stay asleep, even if she's got, at some point the adrenaline's gonna go down.
So you wait pretty late?
Yes.
Okay.
And then at 3 a.m.-ish, I don't have pocket watch, I'm going to go get the clay.
Clay?
I'm going to be in my full assassin garb now, armed with my rapier, my bow on my back. And I'm going to very quietly go down the hallway. I'm not going to close my door all the way. I'm going to leave it so it looks closed, but it's not quite.
Okay.
And first, going to go down to the second floor. I'm using the boots of elven kind, being super stealthy, walking near the far wall from her door to prevent squeaking.
There we go. All right. So you're in the hallway. You said you're on the far side, away from her door?
Yeah, basically, because if you walk close to a wall, you don't get as much creaking as you would if you walked in the center of the hallway.
Right, because the boards are braced with the wall, so there's less area. They're not going to move as far as if you're in the middle and they bow more easily. Right.
Exactly. And so I don't want to be walking next to her wall, so I walk on the wall.
All right, so you're like as far over on this wall as you can, easing on alongside.
Yeah, but I should be pretty darn quiet given that I'm, wearing
boots of elven kind,
etc.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I go down to the second floor.
All right. We head down to the second floor. Oops.
All right. Well, that's first where I want to be. So that, yeah. So is this door locked or no?
The outside door?
Yes.
Nope. Never locked.
All right. Can I lock it with my picks then?
Yeah. Give me a chance to pick locks. Oh, yeah. It's a simple procedure. It's a very basic lock. It's just a flick, 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 and it is latched in place. Now no one can escape without having to bash down a door.
And now I push some clay into the lock.
You have pushed some clay into the lock.
Now I'm assuming these other people, their doors are locked. I'll very, very silently, slowly, taking my time to try each handle for the other 4 doors.
Give me a stealth check for all the doors.
All right. Do I get to do it with advantage for my elven boots?
No, because what you're concerned about is the squeaking of the door. Your boots have no effect. But you very stealthily check every single door here. This door is locked. So I'm going to put this green thing in red. The next door is also locked. This one over here is unlocked, as is this one. And this one is also unlocked.
All right. I'm going to clay those 2 red doors.
Okay.
Try to lock them to the people inside as well.
Okay, they're locked as well and clayed.
Those 2, I wonder if there's people in those rooms, and that's why they're unlocked. I have no idea, do I, if there's anyone in those rooms?
No. Nope.
Do I hear snoring behind either door?
Of the red locked ones?
Of the 2 green doors, the ones that aren't locked.
There's a third green door as well. Give me a perception check. No, you hear no sounds from any of these rooms.
Could I quietly lock them, each one, then?
Sure.
All right.
Give me 3 lockpicking checks.
A 1, a 2, a 3.
Easy. They are now all locked, and I assumed they're about to be clayed as well?
Yes, I clay all 3 doors.
All right, so every door on the first floor surrounding you is locked and stuffed with clay.
Or that second floor.
This is the second floor, yes, of course.
Yeah, this is going to be some triangle shirt factory level stuff going on here, man.
Oh, I see what's going on. For a while, I was like, is he just going to get himself killed? But I think I see what's happening now. I think I figured it out.
All right.
All right.
Well, I don't want anybody, bystanders coming up and gumming up the works.
To the third floor?
Yes.
The third floor.
All right. I am going to clay the doors that aren't mine. I'll try this one right in front of me here. That block.
It is locked, yes.
All right, I'll clay it.
Played.
You said this one here is not for rent. It might be a storeroom, or it might be have I seen anything to indicate like that's the owner's room?
You've never seen that door opened. You've never seen anyone approach the door. But you don't
locked?
No, it is unlocked.
That's fine. It's gonna be. We're gonna be doing something interesting with that. I will go ahead and try to lock it though, just for funsies.
Give me a lockpicking check. It is most definitely locked. And clayed?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Now her door has got to be locked, I'm sure. So now I'm gonna very quietly clay it.
All right.
And now I'm going to get my my net and hang that.
You hang it from the ceiling. The oil-soaked net.
Now, fun with clay. The clay is you thought the clay was only for locking doors. So, since since water runs north,
yep.
What I'm gonna do is get out my clay and make like a little wall that any oil that I release will kind of run into this wall, get funneled under the door.
Under her door?
Under her door.
Okay, so you're making a bit of a dam.
Yes, a little mini clay dam.
Okay, that's
direct oil into her room.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start pouring oil.
Got to be like a dam like this. Then.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously not across the entire hallway or anything.
Right.
So I do that to start pouring oil so that they go into her room, and that's the flowing of water is about as silent as we can get here, or the flowing of oil.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to, let's say, 10 oils under her door.
6, 7. So you've used 17 out of 20 oils now.
Mm-hmm. And I'll have 3 more. I'll have the last 3 will be on me.
All right.
Then,
so can you
okay.
give me a sleight of hands to see in all of this oil soaking how much oil you've incidentally got on yourself? You can't play with oil without getting at least a little bit on you. But that's pretty good, actually. You've got minimal oiling on yourself. Very minimal.
All right. Now I'm going to, that I'm finished, I'm going to take my little clay dam and move it along the bottom of her doorway to kind of block the bottom here a bit, just to the point where I can light a little bit of oil in the corner.
So the dam
fire going.
runs under, it blocks most of her door except for like a section of the underdoor side?
Yes.
Okay. It is so.
All right. Then I will light it and then move some clay to finish blocking under her door.
Okay. So you
Actually,
set...
no. We need air going into that door to feed the fire. Yeah, so eliminate the entire clay dam now.
Okay. Carefully scrape the clay dam away. There's oil that has soaked along the floor around here and definitely into her room as well.
I don't have any down here where I'm standing. That's my standing spot.
Right. Okay. So it's all in this area.
Yes. So right where I am has no oil. I'm going to have my oil-soaked bedding just inside the door. My door will be wide open now. My window wide open. And I'm going to go ahead and light this candle up. And I've got my hand on the rope to release my net. I did say I set up the net, right? Yeah, I did.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. So you've got the net set up. What is the trigger? Is it a pull from you?
A pull from me. I'm holding that in my left hand, and I have my rapier in my right hand.
Okay. Net in the left, rapier in the right, and you set fire to the floor.
Yes.
Okay, so rapier goes away, net gets held, tinderbox comes out, spark, 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 fire.
And the one thing that, and this actually should be pretty good because the fire will be able to get oxygen from under the door. It'll be able to draw it in, but it'll be filling everything she wants to breathe with smoke.
Okay. Let's see if I can find the right soundtrack for burning a tavern to the ground. I don't know if there's such a soundtrack available.
Blue Oyster Cult burning for you?
What?
Burning for You by Blue Oyster Cult?
Oh yeah, that would be good. There is no Everything's on Fire. Okay. Have to try this.
All right, let's
Blue
light
Oyster
the candle.
Cult, another fantastic band from the 80s.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. There it is. There's the soundtrack. You get the fire going, and it rolls across the floor, hits the door, and burns underneath it, as well as beginning to burn the area around. Now, there's that net up there, which is dripping oil, because it's soaked in oil. So every now and then, there's like a little flare as oil falls from the ceiling and gets the floor going, and the fire begins to lick up the walls when you hear a shout and a cry, as well as a lot of barking coming from Allie's room.
Oh, We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel. Would have been perfect.
Would have been perfect.
Good thought. Was that Velasi? Good one. All right. So fire is burning. I'm waiting, ready for should she actually get the door. Oh.
I need to take a look at fatigue levels because you are right. She has been sleeping in her armor. And I am actually a little unfamiliar with the 5e fatigue system. It so rarely gets good use.
Darn it, I forgot the college trick.
You gonna put toilet paper all over her door?
No, I was gonna tie her door handle to the door handle across the hall.
Oh, to make it harder to open?
Yeah, so that she wouldn't be able to pull it open.
Well, you've already locked it and
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the clay might make that redundant.
Okay. So she has disadvantage on ability checks and speed is... Does sleeping in armor give exhaustion?
I think sleeping in medium or heavy armor gives fatigue levels.
Okay. So she's got 2 levels of fatigue, disadvantage on ability checks, and speed is halved. Oh, God. So she gets up, shouts and cries, goes to throw her own... I mean, you can't see what's going on, but I'm going to describe it for the audience. Okay. Takes her own blankets and beddings and tries to, like, put it on the oil to pat it out and goes to open the door. You can hear the door being, like, jerked. And then you hear what sounds like keys being pulled out, followed by loud cursing as the keys are clearly caught in something gummy. Let's give her a check to see if she was actually able to put out the oil fire. Unlikely. The oil's probably just going to seep into the bedding and then catch it on fire eventually. But she's got a moment there, so she's not currently on fire. She's going to start making athletics checks to knock down the door. First athletics check is a 13, which is not good enough. I believe you need a 15 to bash down a door. Is that correct?
Now this door opens in, so she's trying to bash it the wrong way. The door frame actually like working against her.
Yeah. So she'll definitely need a 15. I think that's opening. There's not actually a section on bashing down doors, is there? It's all loosey-goosey. There's no actual open doors check.
What do you think? This is 2E?
I think my entire life is 2E sometimes. Door. Fine. Whatever. She only needs a 15. So the first round, she does not bash it down. I think that's when the fire has begun to spread in her room again. You know, the tamping puts out the fire, but the oil just seeps into the sheets and the bedding, which then catches fire because there's still fire at the door itself. And she will give another check to bash down the door.
Given that the door is where the fire is, and she's basically was standing in all this, is she taking fire damage?
Why don't you give me a D6 for the fire damage she takes this round?
Yay! And then hopefully smoke inhalation will fuck with her too.
Okay. 3. Lovely. So,
not quite what I was hoping for with...
Not yet, but, you know, fire will
10 things of oil.
Burning.
It was 10 things of oil.
But that just increases the amount of flame available, not necessarily the... Yeah. So she successfully bashes down the door on the second round of combat, throwing it from its hinges. And as she bashes it down, she steps out into the hallway where I believe there is a net about to fall on her.
Yes, first I'm going to stab her. She does... we haven't engaged in combat yet. I'm assuming that can get the whole full assassinate thing going here.
She's not surprised because like the place is on fire and she knows someone's trying to kill her. But I think she hasn't acted in combat yet, so it's still a critical hit or something. What is it?
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Is the assassinate roll.
You have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in the combat yet. Yep. Cool. So. Oh!
Thank God it's advantage.
A
12
is she doesn't have her shield on right now. because, buildings burning, priorities, not going to take a round to put on the shield. So let's unequip that. Her AC is 15 now. So a 12 is a miss. And then I think you tug the rope.
Yeah, and I tugged the rope.
The net falls.
And does the net now catch on fire now that it's in contact with...
It definitely will. Hold on. A creature can use its action to make a...
I've put the fish hooks in it to make it catch more on and be tougher to get off.
So I want you to make me some sort of roll to see how well this net triggers. Maybe just an attack roll? You just need to hit her DC of 10, though. Like, her armor and her shield don't play into the net falling on her. So make me an attack roll with a weapon that you're proficient with, and we'll just call it a net attack, and you just need a 10.
Alrighty.
Yeah, the net falls right on top of her, wrapping around and catching and going up in flames. It's time to roll initiative. My god, I don't think we've ever rolled initiative for combat in this game. Oh god. You go way before her. And then we'll just say she takes burning damage on the start of her turn. So, it's your turn here, Assassin.
Alright, I was hoping that this would be my second round of assassinate damage. Might not go well. No, with only one round of assassinate.
She still hasn't had a round in combat yet, so it is a 20. It is a hit. And you do have advantage, so you get all of your sneak attack and everything.
Alright, so it's a crit, so it's, 2d8 is the +4 doubled as well?
No, the +4 is not doubled. But I think you do 3d6 for assassinate damage now?
+4 plus 3d6.
Wait, it's not a crit, so you shouldn't get the 2d8.
No, it is crit, because anything is a crit until she's... As long as I'm acting before she's acting.
No, you get advantage.
The assassinate ability.
Yeah, you have advantage on attack rolls against a creature that hasn't taken a turn. Any hits you score against a creature that is surprised is a critical hit.
You're right.
Yeah, so it should be 2d8 plus 3d6 plus 4.
But shouldn't it just be 1d8?
Yeah, 1d8 plus 3d6 plus 4, yes.
Alright. We'll roll d8 plus 4 plus 3d6.
Yes, sir.
That's not going to be great.
Oh, that is really bad. That is a terrible assassination. You get your rapier into her right below the armor and above the pants and skewer deeply to her.
Now, while netted, is she going to be at disadvantage?
Absolutely.
All right.
In fact, I think it also gives you advantage to attack her when she's netted. Right?
And...
a large or smaller creature hit by net is restrained until freed, and I believe restrained means disadvantage on attacks. Your speed becomes 0, and you can't benefit from bonuses to your speed. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage. The creature's attack rolls have disadvantage, and has disadvantage on saving throws and everything. Okay. Her turn.
I guess it's a little late for this, but I think you said she had disadvantage on ability checks.
Yes, she does. Oh, that
athletics check would have been an ability check.
That's true. That 23 to break down the door would have been an ability check. Okay, so we're just gonna keep everything the same and just see how many rounds it would take her to actually bash down the door. So let's give her another. Hey, there we go. So she'd give me another 1d6 for damage. Okay.
Every
All
point
right.
down here.
It is her turn. She is covered in a net. She's got her sword in one hand, though. Her dog is still in the room, barking up a storm. And Ali Sanguine gonna take a look at her spells. She does not have super great combat offensive abilities. But what she's going to do... I'm going to double check what that spell does.
I stab her while she looks it up.
She's not going to cast Sanctuary, but she will cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level. And... oh, that's terrible. She gains 7 HP. She takes 2d6 damage this round. Roll it from the fire. 1d6 from the net on her, and another d6 from the ground at her feet. It's 5. That spell is an action, and it's a... you need to use a bonus action? Nope, it's a full action to free yourself. You can use an action, bonus action, or reaction with to attack the net. You can only make one attack. Okay. And she shouts at her dog, "Beowulf, get him!" And the dog...
Beowulf is going to go through fire?
Beowulf, the dog, is going to leap across the flames as best as he can.
That's where she is.
It's going to try and leap through the flames and attack you. Because Beowulf is a good dog.
Dogs, it's not going to leap through flames.
Have you ever seen any movie where there's a house burning and the dog leaps through the flames to go rescue the baby within?
No, what I saw was Independence Day where the dog leaped away from the flames.
This dog is leaping through the flames.
You're claiming that this dog is better than the dog in Independence Day.
Oh, definitely. That dog was actually not that great.
That dog is better than Will Smith's dog.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that dog had one scene where he leapt away from flames, and that was it. That was the last we saw of that dog.
I would argue that any dog, by virtue of being owned by Will Smith, becomes the best dog.
Technically, it was Will Smith's character's wife's dog, not his dog.
So they got married.
They didn't get married until after that scene.
It was a dolphin ring. He was going to propose. It was a dolphin ring.
Doesn't matter if they weren't engaged. They weren't married yet. They weren't even engaged. He hadn't even asked her.
He had a dolphin ring.
Doesn't matter. The dog will leap through the flames. I'm going to give him a dex check to see if he can avoid the fire entirely. Oh, good, Beowulf. And then he will try and bite you with a 10 to hit.
Where is the dog standing? There's no unoccupied square there for the dog.
The dog is a small creature and can thus occupy the square of its master. However, it does end its turn in fire, so at the beginning of its next turn, it will take fire damage guaranteed. And I'm going to give the dog an initiative roll too. I guess he was acting on Allie's turn, so I'm just going to give him just after Allie 8 initiative for Beowulf. Woof, woof. And it is your turn again, Assassin.
All right, so she still has disadvantage. Does that mean that I still get my, as long as I have advantage? Does that mean...
You no longer have advantage because she has taken a turn. But she is restrained, so you have advantage against her still.
Does that mean I still get the sneak attack damage?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So, gonna try to stab her again. Hopefully do a lot better at it this time.
Yes, that is much better. You stab her again through a chink in her armor. D8 plus 3, D6 plus 4.
D8 plus 4 plus 3 D. Damn, I'm not getting the rolls.
She is not doing so great on the hit points. It is her turn next round. Right now, so give me another 2d6 for burning. And that will put her unconscious at the start of the round. And
right.
she
How's
will make
Beowulf doing?
her first death saving throw right now and roll a natural 20. No, not quite, but a success. Beowulf will take d6 burning damage. Ooh, and will leap on you. Somehow that did not work. So let's just do it the old-fashioned way. Beowulf will 11. Will that hit you?
Nope, I've got my full assassin gear on. I'm AC 15.
It doesn't have an advantage to hit you for some reason.
Why would it? It's a dog on fire.
Yeah, that makes sense. You should have advantage to attack you then. A dog on fire.
This isn't Hunger Games.
Okay, all right, fine. Maybe he smells your cat on you, and so he's extra ready to get advantage? I don't think so. I just don't think it works, and it's your turn.
All right. I'm gonna stab the dog.
Oh, Beowulf.
You're the one who put a dog there that I was gonna have to fight.
You stab the dog successfully. You do not have advantage, so you just do regular damage. D8 plus 4. You bring the dog to negative maximum HP, I believe. Oh no, he's one shy. He's still alive. Whew. But he's a dog, so he's dead. Doesn't matter.
Can I now put my rapier up against Allie's eye and whoop?
No, because you already made your attack this round. She gets a death saving throw in a turn before you get to do that.
All right.
It's her turn. Natural 20 on the death save. You're a paladin. Okay. Not seeing anything here. Any special? No. All right. Death saving throw for the paladin. Not so good. It is your turn. Oh, she takes some damage, but it doesn't matter because it won't bring her to negative max.
All right. I try to stab her through the eye with my rapier.
Okay, so you have advantage, and she just has her armor for it. So give me a roll to hit. AC 15.
All right. So to actually freaking kill her, do I need to somehow do her maximum with my rapier?
No, any hit on her is automatically a critical hit, and that will be 2 failed death saving throws. So if you hit her, she dies, because she's already got 1 failed death saving throw.
I did hit her with a 25.
You do. You skewer her, and she dies.
All right. I throw my bedding onto her just to really get this fire going.
Well, let's assess the situation. Allie and Beowulf lie dead at your feet, both of them on fire. You've gone inside and tossed your oil-soaked things on her, and this entire inn is now engulfed in flames. You can hear, now that the battle's over, you can hear the pounding on the door from this door to the north, where people are desperately trying to break free. Cries of "Help! Help!" come from that room. What do you do?
To get out a window room.
They're on the 3rd floor. They'll take 2d6 falling damage. They have d8 HP at most.
Tell them they'll have to try to climb down and not fail their checks.
That's not your problem, I guess.
What am I going to be able to do here? Their doors are clayed. I can't pick them now. They'll have to go out the window. I'm going to throw the mattress and the blankets onto Allie. I am going to climb out my window.
Right, this whole area is just ablaze.
All right, I'm gonna go out my window, down to the ground.
Make me a climbing check with advantage.
Quickly, before I go down, I guess I shouldn't be in like full assassin gear. I will just I'll shove my hat into my pack, throw on a cloak, and then I'll climb down.
All right. So you've got your pack, all your gear, but you've like changed your cloak and your hat.
Yeah, so that I don't look assassiny. So just like an old worn out cloak.
All right. Make me a climbing check with advantage. No problem. You slip out your window and down to the ground below.
All right. I guess I'll go around which the map won't let me. I was going to go around to their window and shout, climb down.
You have left the map. You are in the eternal darkness.
I'm past the bed and bath, and now I'm in the beyond part. I'm gonna go around to where the window outside, where those people were banging on the doors. Climb down the window, or climb out the window.
A portly man appears at the window, and you notice his stomach is way too big for him to ever fit out. He looks down and just shouts, "Help!"
Well, I guess he's screwed.
You also hear pounding coming from the second floor, and someone pokes their head out of a second floor window over here and is shouting for help as well. Very quickly, people start pouring out into the streets from other buildings and coming over to see what's going on, gasping and pointing. It takes a few minutes before people start going for the rain barrels and water buckets.
Before we get to a few minutes thing, I'll shout, I'll go get help. And I'll go to my room in the Forester and take off all my assassin gear.
Okay. You switch out of your assassin gear, pop back out into the streets.
All I've got now is a dagger and my regular outfit.
Yeah. A few minutes pass, church bells begin to ring. More people climb out into the streets with buckets and barrels, water, and do their best to put out the fire. What are you doing while the fire is burning?
I'm concerned onlooker number 2.
So you're gonna stick around and watch the fire, what's going on.
Well, that's what someone who was innocent would do.
Whereas someone who's guilty might use the confusion to walk away in silence and quiet.
I mean, I guess I could walk away without looking behind me as the thing burns.
Just walk away, fire behind you, staring straight ahead. You could.
Yeah, in slow motion, too cool to look back at the configuration.
Of course, putting on your sunglasses despite the nighttime blaze.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll do that. I'll go get Sophie.
You get your cat from the other room and depart the town as the building goes up. And I think that's where we're going to take our second break. When we come back, we're probably going to have a shorter last session. We might do a little bit more stuff, or we might just do not a decommissioning, what's the debriefing? That's the word. So we'll see you guys on the other side of our break. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Assassin. You've walked a bit away from the flames, letting them burn behind you. Those couple extra oil flasks that you have left in the building catch fire, and there's a small series of explosions as they pop and burn and burst behind you. You get maybe a block or two away to a nice, safe distance.
Before I get a block away, I am going to pull one of the copper coins out and say Peter and flip it over my shoulder into the fire, at the fire here.
It'll roll towards the flames and eventually be consumed and melt.
Yes. All right, and I do want to keep an eye out for because I did before see where Bronson lived.
Mm-hmm.
Sheriff Bronson. So I'm gonna keep an eye out in the direction of his home. See him coming.
Sure enough, Bronson comes barreling down the road in a red bathrobe and like trying to pull his chainmail over his clothes, and he's got like a cudgel at his side and an assistant running beside him. Also in her bathrobe.
This is wonderful then, since he's just barely getting set. I don't suppose he has that magic dagger on him, does he?
Doesn't look like it. It looks like he's just got his armor and a cudgel.
Oh, I guess he's going to be busy for a while. I'm going to head towards his home.
You head on towards his home.
All right.
You found it last time we were here, right?
Yes.
Right, you did. No. That was the... Find his home?
Yeah, because I was trying to keep track of him, and I even went and reported. I reported the
right
stuff that I found. And
right. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Yep. You can make your way all the way to Sheriff Bronson's house. Let's see if it's marked on the map. I don't know if I remember where it is.
I don't remember on the map either. Just that went and reported stuff.
Okay. Let's see. I have labels on some things. Not Bronson.
Because I was debating leaving incriminating notes about Bronson as well.
Right. Okay. He lives in town somewhere.
All right. Well, I'll go see his home. Are there other people? I don't know if he has a wife and children or not.
You make it to his home. The notes on Sheriff Bronson. There's red. No, Sheriff Bronson is single, in his 30s or 40s ish, somewhere in there.
All right. So sneaking through the shadows, did he, in his rush, remember to lock his door?
Absolutely not. No,
All
the
right.
door is actually wide open.
All right, I will slip in, and is it dark in his house? Or
It's quite dark, yes.
All right, I will slip inside, close his door, note windows to escape out of,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to first look for a bedroom.
He lives in a one-room house, so it's just a fireplace, and there's a bed and a small kitchen. It's like a studio apartment style thing going on here.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like Mel Gibson Lethal Weaponing wanting this place here.
Yeah, you walk in. It's a little bit dark, but there's some moonlight coming in through the windows, and you can see that there is a second suit of armor, because you saw him putting one on, but there's another suit of armor on the ground that looks a little bit too small for Sheriff Bronson, and there's a guard's uniform over there that isn't the uniform of the sheriff, but one of the other town guards. And
all right, well, I'm looking around for my dagger.
Give me a searching check, a perception check, to search the room for the dagger.
Can't believe he stole my dagger.
Steal your... It wasn't your dagger.
It was mine.
It was supposed to be yours, but you failed to... Well, you failed to find it, at least right away. You can continue searching. It's just a matter of how much time these extra checks will take.
Yeah, I'm gonna search again because I think that whole fire is gonna take a while.
Mm-hmm. There you go. 15 was the magic number. So it takes you about 5 minutes to find the dagger. It is actually not very well hidden. It's on a small weapon rack near the front door, next to like 3 other daggers. And at first, your first glance, you just thought it was a regular one, but taking a more careful look at it, you know, holding it up to the actual moonlight, you can tell this is the dagger you should have received at the end of mission 1.
All right, I will take the whole affair. Why not? I mean, why leave an empty scabbard to call attention? I'll take the whole scabbard.
All right, it's yours.
Okay. I'll put the scabbard and my old dagger into my pack. I'll put the magic dagger into my current scabbard. Keep that kind of hidden away so that should I for somehow run into Bronson, it's not like, wait, you've got my dagger.
Right. It is for everyone to remember, it is not just any old dagger. It is a magic +1 dagger. It's a stiletto that has been handed down through the generations of assassins that work for Malchus. And it has a name. It is known as Kiss. Anyway, there you go. You have your stiletto.
For its ability to rock and roll all night. And on a critical hit.
I think it has more to do with like a long kiss goodnight. That sort of thing. But that's fine. You now have a magic dagger.
All right.
Oh.
And I guess pretty much everybody in town is going to be at the fire.
What are you going to do?
I guess the least suspicious thing I could do is to be gonna watch the fire.
Sure, you head over and watch it burn.
Okay, and I'm gonna have the dagger like completely in the small of my back, so there's no chance to get seen.
Right. Let's
All right. So see how things go. And what the hell is everybody's going to be speculating and blah blah blah. I'm even gonna toss in here and there as people are speculating. I think it was the work of Malchus.
Most definitely, that fucker loves fire. But still,
Yes, even a paladin like her wasn't able to stand up to Malchus.
That draws some concerned looks from bystanders. But
well, I look as if kind of worried about the possibility too.
Yeah, and there was great concern being had by all, and that is when someone appears in blue-white robes, speaks a few words. And some clouds begin to appear overhead. There's a little bit of a rumble through the air, and in a 80-foot diameter, rain begins to fall. Freezing rain begins to fall over the building.
Well, I will retreat into the forester at that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to stand in freezing rain.
Yeah, it is free. It's a sleet storm that's being cast into the area. The ground becomes covered with slick ice. People begin to slip and fall, but the cold rain soaks through the building. The fire's on the top floor, and eventually, between the sleet storm spell and other people throwing buckets on it, the fire will be put out. The last home will be badly, badly burned, to the point that you're going to have to tear it down and rebuild it, but the fire does not spread throughout the rest of the town.
All right, if people are magicking around here, I'm gonna go back up to my room in the Forester. Good thing I had 2 rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And talk to Sophie about this. Wow.
What does Sophie have to say? Or what do you have to say to Sophie?
I'll just say, imagine, Sophie, agents of Malchus apparently struck down that paladin, burned the inn. Who would have thought? All right, and I lock my door.
Mm-hmm.
I do, and I will listen, because I'm sure there's going to be stuff going on. I'll listen for any snippets of conversation, but I'm going to be ready in case I need to, like, leap out a window or something.
Yeah. You wait at your room for a little while. When you hear the sound of jingling and heavy footsteps coming up the stairs to the Forester. Your room in the Forester.
To my room?
Well, I mean, they're out in the hallway. For starters.
All right. You know what? I'm going out the window, grabbing Sophie out the window, and up to the roof.
All right.
My stuff.
You bolt out to the roof with Sophie. You can hear the sounds from inside as someone is coming and knocking on doors and interviewing out-of-towners who are staying at the only other inn that survived the fire, just to see who's around in this town and who might be traveling through. They get to your door and you can hear the sound of Robert, the innkeeper, who says, well, yeah, this guy's been here a while. His name's written down somewhere, but I haven't seen much of him. Came by and got some of his stuff earlier today. But, you know, fellow, black hair, goatee, kind of a worn cloak. Gives a shrug. There's heavy knocking on your door, followed by jingling of keys as your door gets opened and people look around and, you know, what do you do?
I'm gonna lay low up on the roof.
Right.
Listen.
Okay.
I don't want to be questioned or detect lie or anything on me.
Yep. They move on to the next room and on to the next and on to the next and move about. And I think you, unless you do something wild, will escape.
Yeah, I'll take off tonight then. No reason to
All right.
around and head for everyone's favorite tea shop.
Make your way out of town. Okay. You'll make your way back to the tea shop later. And sure enough, there is your handler, Ripley, who sees you coming and kind of walks away from the tea shop to meet you on the road a little bit. And says, good morning. Evening, morning. Must be the next day. Tea shop's closed at night. Good morning.
Good morning.
That was... Is it done?
Oh, you didn't hear the news? There was a horrible fire.
I saw the flames from afar.
They say several people were killed, including, unfortunately, the wonderful and upright paladin of Dare, Ali, cousin to the queen.
She leans in close and says, are you sure? Fires can be unpredictable. People can escape if you're not absolutely sure. Did you see it? With your own eyes?
I saw my blade think about 6 inches through her eye socket.
She gives a sigh of relief. Good. Good. Well, did you learn anything that we should know that would be useful for the architects?
I must say I did not. We had a dog, which complicated things. Otherwise, I could have investigated her room more.
That's fine. It's fine. It's all fine.
My mission was to...
There was no mission
to...
Yeah. Intelligence gathering was not part of your mission. It's just... Queen's cousin and all. You might have overheard something useful by accident.
She
But good.
knew that I was coming.
We were afraid of that. Yeah. It's hard to target clerics and paladins, especially. Their divine connection to their god makes them... It's difficult. Words can be passed between them and their deity, and divination spells and whatnot, but good. Good. Do you need a day of rest, or are you ready to hear about your next job?
I'm always interested to hear about my next job.
I like to hear. The Count of High Castle is our next target, but this must be a two-parter, because it's not just bringing down the Count, it's sowing chaos throughout the city that we want to do. And the best way to do that is to leave them without a leader, without any sort of rulership. And unfortunately, the Count of High Castle has an heir. So, we must dispose of the heir to High Castle in a way that won't attract any attention. It needs to be quiet and peaceful, or with all the paladins and all the other nobles that have been dying and the clerics and everything. There must be cares taken to make this look like natural, everyday causes. Brigands won't do, assassinations won't do. Something sweet and innocent. The heir is in his early 20s. But is not particularly athletic or inclined to combat. He's a bit of a lazy boy. We actually thought about just leaving things in his hands. Might do more damage than getting rid of him. But stability is often about perception, and removing him is probably better for destabilizing things than leaving him in place. So, heir to the Count, heir to High Castle is our next target. He will be staying at an estate of his father's and mother's out of town. It's the place that they go to hold their large parties. It's basically a large guest house with baths and dance halls and rooms to sleep in. There are no guests there, but there is a strong complement of guards. A knight and 12 bodyguards, or 12 soldiers, as well as an accompaniment of valets and ladies' maids and housekeepers and cooks and kitchen maids and butlers and groundskeepers and a groom to handle the horses and whatnot.
You say there's baths there?
There's what?
You say there were baths? Did I catch that right?
Baths, yes. Places to bathe.
Like simply, can you tell me more about those?
Well, we don't have a layout of the estate, unfortunately. Most of what we know is pulled from reports of basic reconnaissance. Considering that this will be an estate where every person in the estate is known, it's going to be you're going to have some trouble dealing with this. Oh, before we get there, she pulls out, kind of from a secret compartment that runs along the outside of her leg, a rod about this long, and hands it over to you. She points to a button on the side and says, push this button, and she clicks it and lets go, and the rod just hangs in space exactly where it was when she let go. She holds it, pushes the button again, and is able to move it around and hands it over to you. An immovable rod. One push of this button, and it is locked into place and will not move.
Interesting. Seems I could get creative with this.
Yes, but be careful. If you were to use it on the 3rd floor and then burn a building down, it would just be suspended in air 3 floors up, and be difficult to get to and attract a lot of attention. So be wary.
It would.
Anyway.
Luckily, I'm not the sort to be involved in that kind of scandalous activity.
Good. She kind of motions down the road, and you guys can walk down the road while she's talking. I don't have it on me now, but when it comes in, we'll be able to give you a single potion of invisibility. Unfortunately, it will last until some sort of action is attempted. Attacking a person, breaking down a door, casting a spell, things like that will tend to break the invisibility. Any sort of, how should we say? One of our wizards explained it to me that it's not so much you're invisible as you're just unnoticed. It's a perception sort of thing. The mind just kind of blanks you out unless there's some sort of attention gathering action. So were you to dress in a funny costume and juggle flaming spheres, it would probably break the invisibility as much as pushing somebody in a hallway. So small, gentle, delicate actions will keep the invisibility going. There's a duration on it too, I believe an hour maybe. You can use this for reconnaissance or for something else.
Is this air known for, say, drinking or promiscuity the way many young layabout airs are?
Yes. This is one of the reasons we thought maybe leaving him in place would be better, but very lazy. Spends his time whiling away, enjoying the pleasantries of life. You're going to have a hard time gaining access to the estate without being noticed. Although, we have someone in place that should a job opening occur, we might be able to get you a job working in the estate. All right. Would you be a good servant? Do you know how to dress a lord?
All right, I will use the actor talent to imitate her voice and say, I could be a new servant, or perhaps I could pass as one already there if no one looks too closely.
The serving staff is all very familiar with each other. Unless you can don an actual face of one of them and change your height and hair color.
I say in a face-to-face confrontation, that I could not manage, but seen at a distance, and especially if heard with a familiar voice, perhaps the brain will fill in what the eye is not seeing.
Perhaps. We don't have a layout for the estate, but it is 4 stories. 4 or 5 stories. 4 stories plus a basement. Although the base floor is quite high. So you'll need to find a way in and get the layout and figure out where his lordship will be. I leave it in your hands.
Baths. Yes, the baths interest me. So easy to drown if you're drunk.
That could be the case, yes.
There's stables there, I assume.
That would probably be the
easiest. Fall off a horse.
That would probably be the easiest position to take, since the groom and the groundskeepers live outside of the estate, whereas all the servants and maids live within the building itself, the upstairs. Taking the place of the groom give you cause to be there and cause to be ignored. But I leave it up to you who to kill. Who to replace. Whose job to take.
Well, this is to not draw attention. Seems I should avoid any unconnected deaths. order that people not draw any connections.
Sure.
And simply label it as the actions of a drunkard that duped himself.
Of course. Well, we are still waiting for that potion to come in from our lovely little smuggling friends. So, shall we meet up in, let's say, a week from now? And I can hand it over, and you can do what you need.
It sounds good. I look forward to this challenge.
Excellent. And I think that will wrap us up for the day and for this mission. Any last words before we head out for the day, Rob?
Well, I don't know what I'm going to do the rest of the day because my to-do list was to defeat the nun, and I don't know. I guess it's just Netflix and kill.
All right. Well, we are out. We will be back next Wednesday, August the 8th at 10 a.m. Pacific time or 7 p.m. Central European time for another assassination. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.